Hey YouTube family, it's Humberto from GrayLaw TV, and today we're going to talk about marriage cases in deportation proceedings and removal proceedings, okay? A lot of times marriage cases end up in removal proceedings, it's called, okay? That's what people know as deportation, but it's formally called removal proceedings. And it's very tricky. Once a marriage case gets into court, you have to know what to do. How does this work? How does it happen? You know, what defenses are available to you in court when, for example, there's a fraud charge? This video is going to go ahead and address those things on what you can do. So stay tuned. Let's dig in. First thing you need to know on marriage cases is jurisdiction as it relates to court. So what happens, just to back up just a little bit, what happens is a lot of times individuals go to the U.S. District Office to have their marriage cases adjudicated. And what happens is there's a denial, and when there is a denial, it's almost automatic that the district office sends the case over to the immigration court for deportation or what's called removal proceedings. A notice to appear is issued, an NTA. If you get one of those in the mail, you got to be really careful to meet the deadlines and the dates that are notated in the NTA. It'll give you an actual court date where you need to go to court. If you don't, not only are you going to have a potential fraud charge, you're also going to have a deportation order, a removal order that is very hard to get undone, and it's very expensive. So generally, if your case is denied at the district office, make sure you keep up to date your address so that in the event an NTA is issued, you are on top of it. You make sure you hire an attorney and you go to court, all right? Now, two types of applications that we generally talk about that end up in removal proceedings. Number one is the I-130 petition. Number two is the I-751 petition. So very important that we understand jurisdiction with the I-130 and the I-751. On the I-130, the district office, immigration, continues to have jurisdiction over that I-130, and we'll talk why that's important. The I-751, if you end up in removal proceedings, the judge, the court, can do what's called de novo review. Jurisdiction can lie within the court. So that's a distinction that's really important. Why is this so important? So if your case is denied at the district office and you end up in removal proceedings, the judge is going to ask, well, what do you want to do with this I-130? I can't adjudicate it. I don't have jurisdiction over this I-130. Only immigration has jurisdiction. So you have to look at immigration. You have to follow up with immigration in terms of that case. If that case has been denied, the judge is never going to have jurisdiction over it. So what you need to do, you need to fight that I-130. You need to appeal it to the Board of Immigration Appeals. You need to continue to fight on that I-130 petition to get it approved. These cases take a very long time. Normally what happens is the client goes to immigration. They took the first interview, it was nonchalant, there were some inconsistencies in their answers, so immigration denies that I-130 number one. Okay? Now there's a denial. The relationship breaks down, they get a divorce. Years later, now, and by the way, there's a fraud charge. There's a fraud charge that came to fruition and nothing was appealed. Now you're on marriage number two. That case is denied on what's called 204C. It's a fraud charge. Whenever you have fraud in case number one, then the 204C charge connects to case number two that says you cannot have a subsequent visa petition approved if there's a prior finding of fraud. That could be really problematic when you end up in court, because at that point, you don't have much to do to fight that fraud charge number one. So real important from the onset, if you have a denial of an I-130, you need to make sure you appeal that, keep that alive, because if you end up in deportation, a judge is not going to have jurisdiction over that I-130. If you've had the approval of your conditional resident green card, and now you're filing to remove the condition, and let's say on that second I-751 application, you're separated from your spouse. These things go on and on and on in terms of time. So let's say they conduct an investigation, your spouse is not at the resident, so they deny the case, they charge fraud, right? They're going to charge you with fraud. They're going to place you under removal proceedings. Now, the question is jurisdiction, right? Who has jurisdiction, immigration or an immigration judge? The immigration judge now has jurisdiction to review the I-751 de novo. And we've done some magnificent trials because the judge is going to look at this case as if it's first time. It's going to look at all of the evidence. The trial attorney is going to cross-examine your client, etc. But generally, I find it's a lot easier to get an I-751 approved in court than it is with immigration. So, just because an NTA is issued and removal proceedings commence, not so bad. You have absolute, a way to get your case approved in front of an immigration judge. Again, the trickier one is the I-130. Be vigilant. You got to really make sure that you keep fighting on that I-130. So let's say you're in court and there is a fraud charge, that kind of sticks, or you have a 204C bar against you because, again, you didn't pay attention to that first I-130 and now it's too late to really fight it. So there is still relief in front of a judge where you can get rid of the fraud charges. A lot of immigration attorneys don't know this information. So there is a waiver called a 237A1H waiver. So you can get rid of that fraud charge by filing this waiver. If you have an immediate relative, you could prove hardship to them if you don't obtain the green card or maintain the green card. A spouse, children under 21, or parents that are permanent residents or U.S. citizens, you have to prove hardship to them. It's a good tool to get around the 204C charge because it's almost impossible. It is a permanent bar. The 204C is a permanent bar, really difficult to get around. So again, if an NTA is issued, jurisdiction lies with the court. Really good idea to get a good reputable attorney to help you. There are some things that you can do. You can fight the I-130 outside of court. A judge is going to give you extra time to do so. I-751, you can renew in court. You can redo the case in court. It's a free shot at getting your green card approved. You can do a waiver, 237, right? Great tool to get rid of that fraud charge. What a lot of people don't know, these are just some extra little tips on the I-130. An I-130 only, the marriage need be valid at inception, okay? There's a case, matter of Laureano, that says you can actually, when you marry, you can say, look, I married because I wanted a green card, but you can't just say the green card. You say, I wanted the green card and I loved my spouse, okay? So, as long as just getting the green card is not the only reason, then that's good. And again, the reason I bring this up, because this is how you fight a denied I-130 when they're trying to prove fraud, okay? You could say, look, yeah, my marriage broke down subsequently, but at inception, look, here's all the evidence. It was valid, okay? So yeah, these are the things that you need to do, and the distinction between, being in removal proceedings, in the district office, real important. If an NTA comes, be vigilant. And hey, it's good to see you guys, our YouTube family. Here we are, 2021. We're going to move forward. Make sure you go to the frequently asked questions section. There's some good substantive information there. Great library. And we're going to keep this good content coming. Hey, get us to the 40,000 mark in terms of subscribers. We need only a few more. Click below, like and subscribe. Or if we're at that by the time this video is published, let's get beyond our 3 million views. We're already there. Keep us coming. Get us to 50,000 subscribers. All right. Hey, thanks for watching GrayLaw TV. Click below, like and subscribe. Ring the notification bell. We will definitely notify you when our content is ready to go. And next video, get ready, baby, for some good news. We're coming with some GN. Take care. Bye.